Hey guys, Andrew Davidson here, and welcome back to another As Per My Ability video. If you like what we do here at As Per My Ability, if you like our videos, if you like our content, if you like board games in general, please comment, like, subscribe, give us a little bit of love, hit the notification, the little bell, so that you get notified when we post new videos, because we are going to be talking about Prospero Hall games. So for those of you that are just jumping in, this is part of a series of 4 Prospero Hall designed games that I'm talking about. So this is another video in that series. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the 1950s and who owns the air in the sky with Pan Am. Now, Pan Am is the one Prospero Hall game that I have that is absolutely fully 100% competitive. There's no cooperation at all involved in Pan Am. And in Pan Am, it is circulating around kind of like the late 1940s into the 1950s and even 60s. So you're moving through a timeline, and what you are doing is you are trying to occupy your own little airway or airline company, and you're trying to occupy routes like from Miami to this place or from this place to this place, so different spots on the board. And there's a big super company out there called Pan Am, which during the 50s was going around buying up all of these businesses and stuff. And so what you're doing is you're trying to get routes, so to speak, airline routes that Pan Am is going to try to, it moves out and will try to take over. And when it takes over, you can sell that off to Pan Am for a bunch of money. You then use that money to cash in for Pan Am stocks, and whoever has the most stocks wins. Sounds a little bit kind of confusing with the stuff of as far as connecting routes and planes and stuff like that. Here, let me take a little bit to show you how the game works. Hello and greetings from the 1950s. Welcome to Pan Am. Now this is going to be a very difficult video for me to just kind of go over in roughly 4 to 5 minutes because there's quite a bit going on in Pan Am. First of all, I can't even get the entirety of the board kind of in one really great shot. So here's as much of the board as I can get into the frame. So we'll start off by saying that. Second of all, okay, so I've said this is a competitive game. There's no cooperative nature to this, and the goal of the game is to have the most stocks in Pan Am by the end of 7 rounds. Every round is going to be kicked off by resolving one of these event cards that will tell you to do something. It will also set your stock price and Pan Am's expansion. That would go here on the board for everyone to be able to reference. And then there's a betting system or an auctioning system that takes place. And it's really cool the way that they have it laid out, because you kind of go, in resolving, you go A, B, there's a C. Off camera, you can't really see there's a D and an E kind of down in this area. And so it's cool because you'll be betting, you'll be taking your little marker here and betting on things like that. Like I'm going to bet there and someone can outbet me, very much like Stockpile or Acquire or any other type of betting sort of games. The goal that you want to try to do is you want to try to connect flights from place to place. So these lines to lines, you want to be able to collect them. Now, in order to do that, you can do it a couple of ways. You can have towers, airplane towers that are permanent on the board. That's kind of up here. You can buy those. That's always kind of cool. They give you some extra income, which is great because you need money to do stuff in this game. You can also use these destination cards, which will be for sale up here when you get to the betting phase. And there'll be destination cards that you can use to connect cities. If you have 2 of these, you can connect to a city. There's also other ways you can use these cards to kind of connect and use them as wilds and stuff like that. I'm not going to go into all of that. But when you connect the city, if you can see, there's a very small number. For example, this one is 4 and a 4 and a 3. You need to be able to have an airplane that can fly that far, that can carry, that can make that kind of commute. So you start off with some planes. I'm going to kind of show you if we can focus in with just a tiny little guy, the tri-motor. And these are ones. So these are spots for maybe down here in the corner, like the one. And when you claim a spot, you will place it in between the two cities. You do not place the plane on any of the cities themselves. You place it in between the two cities. So there's the tri-motor, and then there's the 2, which is the clipper. If I can get these in the frame, there's the clipper. The next step up is a number 3, which is the cruiser. So kind of cool models here. And then the final top one, which is the number 4, is the jet. And so there's the giant jet that can go on the big, long 4 spots. Like, for example, I could put a jet right here and connect here to here. Why am I doing this? Why are we connecting all this? Do we get points for doing this? No. Do you get any type of money for doing this? Not necessarily. What you really want to do is Pan Am is acting as almost like a dummy player. Someone that's not controlling Pan Am, but Pan Am is in this game. They are playing in this game, although they are not a player. They will start in Miami, and they will start to grow and grow and grow and grow throughout the whole board. If they grow to cover, let's say I own this spot right here. If they grow to cover this, they will come to me and approach me and say, we would like to buy your route. I sell my route to Pan Am for super massive profits, which means I make money. I lose my route, but I get my planes back, or my plane back, and I get money in order to buy stock, which is stock in Pan Am is how you win the game. So really the point of the game is to try to get in Pan Am's way, so to speak, as Pan Am will expand and grow throughout the board. If they grow to overcome some of your routes, then you can play the capitalist game and say, oh, hey, you want this super route here? You really, Pan Am wants this? Well, I can sell it to you for, whatever the market price is, which is kind of off board down here. And so that's basically as much as I'm going to get into without going into all the little specific rules, like I said, about how the destination cards work, how each event card, you'll be playing over 7 rounds. So 7 rounds, at the end of 7 rounds, then you kind of sell off things, and whoever has the most in the stocks win. There are different colors for the different planes. There's different markers for you to bid on. There's different places for you to bid, like this. You can bid on planes and stuff like that over there. And so that's about as much as I'm going to say. As far as Pan Am, your main goal is just to try to collect money so that you can then take the money and convert it into stock in Pan Am, which is how you win the game. So let's get back to kind of more of my thoughts on Pan Am and who I would recommend this game for. So let's get one thing out of the way first. Pan Am, out of the 4 that you're going to be seeing from the Prospero Hall design team, the 4 that I actually own, Pan Am is probably the most complex. Now, does that mean that this game is completely way over everyone's head? It's impossible to learn. There's way too many rules. Not really, but there is a lot of economic stuff to it. There's a lot of kind of board management of where you go, how you use those city cards to create things. There's a huge auction system, as you saw. So like auctioning and using, how you want to spend your money and how effectively you spend your money and stuff. It's got them a little more of a strategic thing to it. And having it be the only competitive game, purely 100% competitive game, makes it a little more challenging because everyone sits down at the table, nobody's really played before, and so it's hard for people to help out each other because it's like, we're playing against each other, dude. So, you can have someone be like a nice player and be like, oh, hey, you forgot to collect this, or you should have some extra money. That's all fine and good, but in the grand scheme of things, you are competing with other people. Now, This game is awesome. That's really not much else to say. I've picked Prospero Hall because I feel like they've been just knocking it out of the park with the games that, at least the ones that I've played, the ones that I'm showing off to you. And so that goes without saying. Not that I really try to give out like reviews, but I do kind of try to talk about like, yeah, I enjoy playing this game. Pan Am is a really great mid-weight game. And so what I do is I usually try to talk about like who I recommend this game for. So who in your life could benefit from Pan Am? Well, first of all, what draws people into games? Well, for me, as most of you know, it's story and theme. Well, there's no story in this game. You're just kind of putting things on the board, as you saw, kind of Monopoly style, just the board is the board. But the theme maybe might catch someone, but probably not. 1950s, airlines, Pan Am. Pan Am doesn't even exist anymore. I don't even know what happened to it. I probably should do like a Wikipedia search or something about what even happened to Pan Am. But I don't think that the theme is really there to just draw people in. I happened to pick up Pan Am because a contributor, Brad, who contributes to As Per My Ability, mentioned something about it, and it was by the same design team, Prospero Hall, and I was like, wow, man, they're knocking it out of the park with their games. So that's why I ended up buying it. But just sitting on the shelf, not really knowing, it's probably not going to draw people in. But fear not, this is a really solid game. So who I recommend this game to is not necessarily so much as some of the others that I've talked about, like especially like Horrified, where I said it was absolutely a great gateway game, great for families. Pan Am's probably not a great gateway game. It is lower on the spectrum of the rules and the complexity, but there is some strategy. There is like there's kind of right and wrong moves to make, so to speak, in the game that will really kind of, for lack of better phrasing, screw you over later on in the game because of, like you saw, the market for the stocks is always changing, so there's a certain timing to do things. There's just a lot more cognitively, speaking, that's going on in this game. So I recommend this game to at least people that are somewhat gamers. If you own Pandemic, if you own Ticket to Ride, this is very much like a Ticket to Ride game where you're just trying to connect things on the board by using cards or, purchasing things. Stockpile is another game, or acquire any type of stock market where you're bidding on things. If you've played some of those games, Pan Am is going to be really great for you because it takes a really big amalgamation of a lot of those things and puts it into one game. And the one game is fabulous. I enjoy playing Pan Am. I will play it some more. I will keep it on my shelf. It's not going to be going anywhere. The Prospero Hall guys hit another one out of the park. I highly recommend Pan Am, especially if you and your spouse or your significant other or even just a gaming buddy or group, if you're looking for something to kind of step up a little bit from Ticket to Ride, this is absolutely your next choice. Pan Am is basically like a Ticket to Ride sort of system, but with a lot more of that stock market, auctioning, bidding, things like that. So that's all I've got to say for Pan Am. Super good game. Everyone go check it out. I got mine at Target. So these are all really accessible games. So that's it. Once again, I'm Andrew Davidson. Thanks for watching As Per My Ability, and I will see you guys all at the next video.